Hi, Steve here from Winning More. Thanks for joining me in this short overview on Lay the Field bot. As the name suggests, this is a piece of software, a bot that will allow you to lay the field, whether it be in running or whether it be before the actual race starts. So let's have a look at what it can do. First of all, it can do 5 different scenarios. So for example, if you just want to lay horses that go to 1.7 in running, so in the close finishes, then you can set it to do that. If you want it to back horses between a certain price range, say between 8 and 12, it can do that. Okay, and then you have other criteria down here that you can make more specific. For example, if you're doing lay 1 and you want to lay them in running when the horse goes to 1.7 and hopefully it's a close finish, then this is the sort of settings that you would have. So what would happen 30 seconds before the race starts, it would lay every horse that's listed between 2 and 100, or you could put 500 and say if there's 20 horses in the field and you're allowed a maximum of 25 runners, then it would place a bet for all those runners in the field between the prices of 2 and 500. So those bets will sit there because none of them are at 1.7. Those bets will sit there unmatched until such time as the race starts, and any horses that come down to 1.7, then the bets will be fired in. So hopefully, well, if you get 2 horses or more that go to trade at 1.7, then you're making a profit. So that's maybe what you want to do. If that's the case, then you'd be looking at the distances. You'd be making them like shorter distances. So you might only want, you might only want it from 6 furlong races, so sprint races. So if the race is between 1 furlong and 6 furlongs, then the bot would place the bets in there. And in Australia, you may want it, if you wanted to do just the sprint races or 1400, it's up to you. Okay, and then the amount of days run. So if you have between 1 and 500, any horse that has run in the last day or up to the last 500 days will be included in getting the horses ready to be backed. So if you're doing a 2-year-old race and they haven't started yet, then you may have some of the field will not have any bets placed, will not even be loaded up in the bot because they don't meet the criteria of the day since last start. You have 2 staking options, fixed stake, and this is the stake. So if your Betfair account's in pounds and you put 1, it'll be £1 stake. If it's in Australia, it'll be $1 Australian dollar, and if you're using US as your base, then it would be $1 US dollar. Or you could have a percentage of the bank. You might want to lay 1% of your bank. This is the staking, not the liability. Then you have the classes here, and you can pick and choose classes. Obviously, by picking out distances like say 900 to 1400, then you're obviously wiping out some of these options here anyway. But if, for example, you only wanted to back in steeplechase races, and you wouldn't be doing the tight finishes like that, but you may want to back steeplechase races for horses between say 10 and 20, for example, then you would only leave the steeplechase one ticked. But it's up to you. And of course, Australia and New Zealand have their own classifications. So this bot allows you to hone down to exactly what you want. And so much so, if we come over here to this is the venues. If I click one more, these are the venues that this bot is loaded up to do today. If, for example, you only wanted to do Wolverhampton, you would untick all these and untick the auto reload, and only the Wolverhampton races would show. I'll just pause it and I'll just show you. So we only have Wolverhampton ticked there now, and if we go onto the races, we can see there it's only listing the races that are happening at Wolverhampton. We may say, well, we only want races that are 6 furlong. Well, that will be taken into consideration by here if we have 6 furlong. But there may be, say, you may want a 6 furlong race that you may not want to be in. You may say, well, this horse in here is going to bolt in. So you could untick that. So even though it says 6 furlong and you've got 6 furlong over here, that race would still not be looked at by the bot because you've unticked it. Okay, these other ones, 1 mile 6, well, that wouldn't have to be unticked anyway because your settings that you've got here for lay 1 means it would not be looked at. So you've got all those options that you can do by looking at certain races and saying, yes, I want to bet on that race, but obviously I don't want to be sitting at the computer when that race comes along. So that allows, this bot allows you to do that. So all the reloads here are obviously so you can reload races if you need to, but if you've got auto reload tick, there will every half hour all the races will be reloaded again. Then we have the screen button will take you to all our automated bots so you can have a look and see exactly what we've got. The software manual button will take you to the manuals, and it's all the manuals so you can just go through and pick out the one that's appropriate to this here. Betfair help will take you to the Betfair website so you can get the help. Here the profit of 1, 2, 3 and 4, these are these little numbers here, so they'll give you a constant reminder of exactly how each of these tabs are going. You can use 1 or 2 or 3, whatever, how many ever tabs that you want to use. Okay, and you can use them. Commission, if you this commission here is only for the bot. It doesn't affect your Betfair commission, but it gives the figure that the bot can work out its results in. So I suggest you put 8 if you're using Australia and England mixed or UK mixed, or if you're just in the UK and Ireland, put 5 in obviously. And each one of these here, the lay 1 to 5, is a separate system that you can use. For example, here in lay 3, I'm looking at laying horses that are between 8 and 12, and because I put 12 here at the beginning, the best bet price 12, when 30 seconds come, the bot will only look at horses at the 30-second mark that are listed between 8 in the odds and 12, and it will actually place the bets on those horses. If I put 12 in here because that's the maximum price, if I put 12 there as the bet price, it will automatically, before the race starts, bet those horses that are between 8 and 12. If I turn around and make that price 8, what the bot will do, it will list the horses, there may be say 3 or 4, it will put those horses into the bot, ready to bet, but it won't bet them until they get to 8. So if a horse is at 11, then the bot won't bet it until such time as it travels down to the price of 8. In the lays, then it will bet it. But so if you want to bet all horses between 8 and 12 before the start, put 12 as the price to bet. Time to bet, 30 seconds before the off, whatever suits you. And obviously don't have the minimum match too low, because then, especially if you're doing in play, you want it so you want to be betting on races that has enough liquidity to take your bets. Minimum runners, well, more is better. So if you put in between 8 and 25, then if a race of 7 comes up, the bot will not be interested in that. And distances, obviously if you're doing in-play skinny margins, you don't want long distance races because the chances of them being in a photo finish is a lot less. So you keep those race distances shorter. And the day since run, obviously you can mix and match what you want to do there. If, for example, you bring this down to maximum to 100, then what this does, it doesn't exclude the race, but it excludes any horses that haven't raced within this period. So if I had 7 and 100 there, and a horse had started yesterday, then that horse would not be loaded up as a lay, but the race would not be avoided. Whereas if you put the distance in here, then that affects the whole race. If the race distance is beyond 7 furlongs, then the race would be ignored by the bot. Also down here when we have the classes, okay, this class means if the race meets this class, then all horses will be loaded up that also meet the other above criteria. Okay, so you've got the 3 different countries there, or the 4 countries with the 3 different classifications. So you untick the ones that you don't want. By default, they're all ticked. So you untick the ones you don't want. Fixed stake, obviously, we talked about. And up the top here, we have the tabs for like our current bets, cancelled bets, the results. That can be sorted by at the top here. Then we have the log. Now the log file is very handy to find out why bets aren't being placed in that. So learn to look at the log file and see if there's a race that should have been there, bet on that hasn't been. You can come to the log file and find out why. And then each result, each lay tab has its own results. And you'll see here we've got lots of gaps here. These are our unmatched bets. This one here we're looking at 2.5, so any horse that didn't get to 2.5 doesn't show. That's why there's nothing here, because even though it was a bet, it's an unplaced bet, unmatched bet. Okay, and then you can see, like on this lay 5 one here, you can see the odds are quite high here. That's why this block of horses were all matched, because we had that criteria set. Remember how I told you between 8 and 12? Well, this one here was between 10 and 20 at one stage. Okay, and so that's, and then back to the home page. So that is the bot in a nutshell. You can see there that we've done a reload there, and because we had those other ones unticked, it's only loaded up a new track for tomorrow, Toowoomba. So you would untick that if you didn't want Toowoomba to be involved. Okay, so that is how the bot works. If you put show market and we click on that one, it will show the market here. You don't need to see the market in order for the bot to go. It's just for your own benefits. So we do suggest that you leave that ticked off, because it keeps the data requests from Betfair low. So thanks for watching this overview on Lay the Field. It gives you the opportunity to lay in running or to lay before running. Okay, so thanks for watching this on behalf of Michael and myself. We hope you see enough interest to get involved with Lay the Field bot. Thank you.